Paul Hankins.
Welcome to On the Air with Power Squared, a weekly look at what we hope will be everyone's favorite comic book, Power Squared. Actually, it should be behind the scenes look, but you get the gist. We are joined this week again by Rachel Wells, the artist of Power Squared. Rachel,
hi everyone,
was here last week, and she's like almost a co-host. We're going to talk about character designs. There's a couple of things that we're trying to work on kind of jointly. One is we keep talking about the idea we think this would make a good show for a good
animated series.
And you have to have a pitch packet to do that, and they're going to want to see what the characters look like.
Yeah.
And then we're also thinking about we could have what they call an ash can.
Yeah.
Sort of a giveaway when you sign up. Right now we're giving you issue number 1, but instead we might give you a kind of a who's who of Power Squared.
Yes. So that offer won't last long.
That's right. So sign up now. Or enroll now, as I like to say, since you're signed up for SRCC.
Yeah.
I also tried to use the Go Hound Dogs, the hashtag Go Hound Dogs.
Yeah.
And there's other people using that. I went ahead and used it anyway. I hope it doesn't mean something, tied in with some, right-wing group or something.
oh no.
I don't know. It was just weird that it was being used. So I was like, oh.
It'd be for the better. People will it'll get eyes on the cause.
It was, so as we say, the Go Hound Dogs. I figured we might as well, why not?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You are going to be doing some character designs for us for characters that you did not create. Because we have the ones that you created. We're going to use those, but these are 4 ones that were designed or not designed necessarily by the previous artist. Right?
Yeah. So, I did come in. I started working on the comic on issue 6, and by then there was quite a cast of characters. I guess as we were just discussing earlier, they didn't come with character sheets like I make for the characters that I design for the story. So it's just kind of kind of using the old comic art as reference. Mm-hmm. But I figure, these character sheets would be good if you guys want to set up a pitch packet. If by chance you ever wanted to pitch to other comic publishers, that would probably be something they're looking for.
Right.
And it might be good. I was always thinking not that I plan on leaving anytime soon, but if there were ever another artist that would pick up the helm from me, it would probably be useful to have character sheets, to look off of.
You're not leaving anytime soon, right?
But,
okay,
oh, absolutely not. I just think sometimes I see that color packet that one of your old colorists made for future colorists.
Yeah.
And I guess I look at that and I'm just thinking should I have something like that?
That was actually the first colorist, who's the second colorist, I should say.
Right.
She put that together knowing that she was leaving for the next person. And then so we just had them each keep adding to it as they do new characters and new coloring,
That's nice.
Yeah, so that was, we were, I guess we didn't have that issue with the characters because you kind of redesigned them as you went.
A little bit, yeah. I guess character sheets are also very useful for helping keep the characters consistent looking. Because, definitely as I've moved through, issue 6, 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth, they kind of change ever so slightly. Not that necessarily mean to. I guess it's sort of it depends on. Hi, Susie. It kind of depends on how what my skill at that point is in terms of just general drawing, but I guess I always tend to improve the characters as I improve. I figure if I can make this look better, then why the hell not?
Right. So you started off doing 4 characters for us, which I think are kind of the main characters, mostly the main characters of the story. Marty, Eli, Dr. Atlas, I want to say Instructor Atlas, Dr. Atlas, and Mocha, who's yeah. So do we want to talk about those in particular? I mean, is there one character that you enjoyed designing over another?
I would say Mocha, especially Mocha's Fox version. I mean, I just like drawing women more. They're just more fun to draw. I don't know what it is exactly, but Also, animals. I think I've said it before, but animals are my favorite thing to draw. So Mocha, like the kitsune, is just very, very fun, very interesting to draw.
So you want her to be in the kitsune form more often than she is?
The furry in me says yes.
Well, sorry, we're not really actually doing that. We did. Well, you've had a couple of issues where she was, she was that.
She's basically a fox the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should have been like.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, Mocha's definitely, she's an interesting character when she's a human.
Yeah. So, should we look at one of them?
All right. Let's see. If I have done this correctly, then no one will see that screen. Okay, there we go.
This is exciting. If you're listening to this on the podcast, we're looking at character designs. Great visual.
Yeah.
So Mocha,
Yeah.
let's start with her. So,
Why not?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how far I wanted to go with these character designs, because normally with the characters that I make from scratch, like Professor Theorem or Quincy, I'll make all these little notes like, oh, her face is longer, or like she's this height just about, or she likes this fashion sense. But for these characters, it's just like, how much should I outline really?
As much as you feel like you want to. I mean, So you say you like. Can we zoom in on Mocha? I know that's exciting again for radio. What about Mocha do you like? And I know that some of the idea for a character design is that you want to have a little bit of the personality of the character come through, right?
Yeah. I like her sort of steely look. I like that her face is just a little bit different from the rest of them. Like she sort of has like a rounder nose. Generally like a rounder, more stout face. I like her suit because her suit is like nice and standard. It's easy to draw. She's one of those characters where that she wears the same thing all the time. Like Marty and Eli don't wear the same thing, but Mocha's nice and easy. She just wears the same ass thing.
Well, actually, in some, I'll say, future issues, she may actually be dressed a little differently.
Ooh.
Because, she's trying to fit in.
Exciting.
Yeah. But that's, don't want to give too much away because, but we're talking.
The main challenge with Mocha is the heels. I always have trouble with high heels, but I guess it's good practice.
Yeah, I was kind of. It's interesting that she and I know that we're responsible for it, but it's interesting that she wears a suit.
Yeah.
What?
I guess she thinks like, what are human clothes?
Yeah. So is there anything that you think that the problem I think we had with the original, I'll say, artist and Mocha was that she seemed to change drastically from depiction to depiction, and you've sort of standardized her look. So is there is there something that you think you really mastered about her that wasn't really being dealt with before? You know what I mean?
Let me think. I think in general, a big issue about like the last art style was that a lot of the facial expressions weren't very readable. Like you could tell a character's supposed to feel something because of like, what they're saying or the context, but it wasn't, you couldn't really feel it on their face, and I feel like expressiveness is very important in comics because, it's character driven, it's driven by their emotions. Right. So I worked really hard to make sure that not just Mocha, but all the characters, but I feel like Mocha especially had that issue. It might have just been because it was a woman's face. But and like for some reason, women are just really hard to draw for a lot of comic artists. But yeah.
Well, usually, a lot of the comic when they draw women, they're heavy. I'll say large-breasted or whatever.
Right.
And we don't. I mean, I've looked at.
There's a lot of issues with women in comics. I could go on and on, but
we'd be getting off topic.
I'll leave it at that. Like, yeah.
No, but I mean, I think she looks, kind of tough but approachable.
Yeah.
which is kind of how she is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Steely.
okay, Steely. So, I guess another one to look at would be Dr. Atlas.
Yeah.
Dr. Atlas. Dr. Atlas was funny because for a long time during my tenure at Power Squared, I didn't get to draw him because he just didn't appear. And then when I finally got to draw him, I was like, yes!
Well, he's he kind of got into the background there for several issues, kind of pulling the strings from behind the scenes more.
Yeah,
than,
while we explored some of his
Yeah.
followers.
yeah. So what do you?
He definitely has like he's a very oblong sort of, not, I don't know about oblong, but like his face is definitely very distinct from other characters. Like he has those cheekbones, he has like the sort of, whatever you call these things right under your bottom lip,
Yeah.
like your snake bites. He has weird bangs. He has weird glasses. Just like weird everything. So he's very interesting to draw. Excuse me, just a moment. I got cat hair in my eyes. Oh no.
Susie.
It was a great idea bringing the cat up here. But I just like, what else can I say about Dr. Atlas? I tried to give him like a very very imposing stature here. Very like, I'm the villain here.
Yes, and he.
Although
is.
when I go and do inks for him, I might like, make his shoulders a little bit broader. Something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I guess we could talk a little bit about the main characters of the story. Marty
Yeah.
and Eli. I'm wearing my
Marty and Eli.
Team Marty t-shirt, so I'll start with him. I know that we gave you some feedback on some of these characters.
Yeah, like switch up their shirts. I've been working on that, I swear.
Okay,
I'll send progress tomorrow.
it's fine. It's fine.
But
Yeah, that seems like more of an Eli shirt to us, but maybe that's because we're going on who the characters are based on.
Yeah.
I might have drawn Eli before with that cat face. I don't remember exactly. But
So what are you trying to capture?
I might have like low-key complained earlier about like having to draw different outfits for them, but I do enjoy thinking up different outfits for them from issue to issue.
Yeah, I like the idea though that they're not when they use their powers, they don't change. They don't suddenly have a cape and some outfit.
Right.
I like the idea that
Yeah.
they're just this is just who they are, and they just they always have these powers, and they're just using them. They're not turning into
Yeah,
something
because the costume just sounds
ridiculous.
impractical. You have to like go somewhere to change.
Yeah, and capes. I thought those are silly. They get caught in things, and it's just so I like the idea.
True. Anyone who's seen The Incredibles knows.
So I mean, I like the idea that there's no change of they don't put the rings together and become something else, or whatever. So. and they don't have any. Like,
Yeah, they're very
catchphrases.
down to earth.
Yeah, they're just your average, walk around the town superhero.
Yeah.
They're down to earth, and I like that.
So what are you trying to what part of his character were you trying to bring out in the character design?
I suppose in this like main pose here, I guess I was trying to convey how, at least Marty in particular is like kind of, I suppose he's the more outgoing one, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just happy-go-lucky, like, hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Yeah, like isn't necessarily afraid of the spotlight, isn't afraid of attention. He's cool and he knows it, but not like necessarily, what do you call it, full of himself.
Right.
At least not yet.
We want him to always stay down to earth. Yeah. Okay, so besides the shirt, that was kind of our Yeah, just change the shirt out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do like. I think I said it before, but my favorite brother to draw is Marty, just because of the longer hair. I like to draw long hair.
well, let's talk a little bit about Eli, the the actual older brother of the two.
Oh yeah,
He's actually a little more. And I think,
Eli.
yeah, we were.
Sorry.
We were thinking that he was a little too outgoing.
Sorry, we're on such a delay.
Yeah, we thought maybe he was
Yeah,
a little too outgoing in their characterization. He's a
Yeah,
little,
I can definitely see that now. I wanted to convey the same thing that was like, hey, I'm happy, I'm friendly, but not too friendly.
and we
But,
went this.
Basically, like,
Go ahead.
sorry. What was it? I know, like, they're kind Marty and Eli are more or less similar in their characters, their personality, but like I know like they're distinct enough that where was I going with this? They're distinct but also very similar, which
Right.
can definitely help in drawing them, not just like in these character sheets, but throughout the comic, like their mannerisms and how they carry themselves.
So do you draw the same basic body and just change things, or you know?
I think I've said it before, but if I'm drawing a shot with the two of them in it and they're posed more or less the same, I'll copy and paste. I'm not afraid of copying and pasting. It just makes things so much easier. Obviously, I don't do that for all of them, but I believe for this, for these character sheets, I might have copy pasted the heads and just sort of like, change the hair.
Well, yeah. So twins, you can get away with that more.
It's true. It helps keep things consistent.
Well, that's the beauty of them being identical twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is lucky that the people they're based on are identical twins. That worked
Yeah.
out pretty well. But enough different. So we want them to look the same but be different is the
Yeah, distinct.
right. Okay. We should talk about Mocha and her
Kitsune farm.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was fun, but at the same time, it felt kind of because, like, for the other three character designs, they're all humans, right?
Yeah.
So they each get like a little turnaround with the head chart. But for this animal, I'm like, what do I do with you?
I like the paw. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I figured, at least for the sake of color reference, I should show what color the paw pads are.
Right. And I know Trevor is our sort of our resident animal expert, so he had some little things he thought could be altered. But
Oh yeah, I like to think I'm good at drawing animals, but
well, I think he likes drawing them a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys go to the zoo so you can see and take photographs and stuff.
oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. When you can go to the zoo, of course.
That's fun.
It's closed at the moment.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, all right. So,
Honestly, so much of my skill in drawing animals comes from drawing from photos.
so were you trying to get across her personality in this one? Or just kidding. That
A
she's
little bit. I figured she was a fox.
right.
She obviously has the 8 tails there. I'm not sure if I ever knew that before issue 15 that she only has 8 tails, because I was always thinking that she had 9 tails.
Well, I think Ninetales.
And then
Ninetales is supposedly a sort of a certain milestone for them, right?
Yeah.
So she's not quite there yet.
right, yeah, the more powerful you are, the more tails you have.
Yeah.
And then, I fixed it, and then I was working on that page again, and my husband was watching me. He was like, she's missing a tail, right? It should be 9 tails.
No doubt.
And I was like,
Lore.
lore. I do like that, though. I like that she has 8. I like that it's a little bit different, you know.
Yeah. Well, maybe if this goes on long enough, she'll get the ninth tail. But right now, she only has 8.
Ooh.
A
I'm rooting
conscientious
for you, girl. You get that tail.
Yeah, we're hoping that she'll earn it, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe we get to the some issue number she'll have, get it or something. We haven't gotten that far yet. So these are the first set, and then there'll be other characters again that you've didn't create.
Yeah.
What are the next ones you want to tackle?
There's a bunch of them. I think of the list you sent me, I was kind of just going down.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I'll have to go back and look at it, but it might be the friends, Kirby and Steve and Dawn.
I'm gonna stop.
Like I think they're all gonna get one.
Yeah.
Go back to the thing.
And then I guess we have Uncle Brian and
right, Uncle
Jennifer.
Brian.
Yeah. So you've
Jennifer will be fun to draw. I like drawing Jennifer.
So do you have a favorite character? You said Mocha already. Is there somebody that you've created that's your favorite character to have created?
I think my favorite that I've created has to be Professor Theorem. She was the first one that I designed, I believe. And she's just really fun to draw. It was fun to formulate her design because you gave me a specific person to base her off. I can't recall the name.
K-Fly.
But I poured through photos of her to figure out like a good character from her. I feel like I did a pretty decent job. I like her hair. I like her whole stature. I like that she's not just, a bombshell, like stereotypical comic woman.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was.
Yeah, I might have talked about this before, but I feel like women in media should be allowed to be a little bit ugly. They should be allowed to have like wrinkles and whatever, like frizzy hair. They're allowed to be imperfect, and I think that's what I like about Professor Theorem.
She's imperfect. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have I'll just ask this question, a least favorite character you've had to design?
Least favorite character. I might have thought about this question before. It might be one of the like side characters, the ones that you kind of forget about. Because I always do, like, for the audience, I always do a little sketch of like named characters or characters that show up for more than a panel,
Right.
Just to make sure like the look looks okay.
Yeah, we have the Perrys as an example, and
yeah.
And the puffy lady or something. Been a few. There was the policeman. He showed up for a few, and
yeah. I guess I'm thinking specifically about issue 8. Issue 8, where they're at the Perry house, and there's the police guy there, and Professor Ketchum, not Professor, Detective.
Detective Ketchum.
Yeah. Like, not that I dislike him, but like, I kind of, fun fact, since his last name was Ketchum, I kind of designed him based on Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. But I didn't think to like say to the colorist like his hair should be like Ash Ketchum. So then the colorist made them not look like Ash Ketchum. So I was like, oh, okay then. Not that that's her fault, but
you gotta say what you want.
Yeah, but I guess like to answer the question of like my least favorite character I've designed, I guess like one of the side ones that didn't get a lot of effort put into them, I just kind of look back at them like, I could have done better on that. But
Do you want to come clean and tell us which one?
Let me think. I might be thinking of like, it's any of the officers, like, actually no, I'm thinking of the scene with the Perry house, and when the guy comes in, he might be a doctor, he might be a scientist guy.
Oh.
I remember looking at him and thinking of like, that could have been better.
You think there was a guy from the I want to say SDI, but
It
that's
came in and it was like, wait, you can't erase that.
right. Yeah, he's one of the police investigator types, from the scientific
Yeah.
fingerprints and all that kind of stuff.
Forensics.
Yeah.
Forensics, yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I try and put my all into character design, so you know.
so for somebody that is watching this, hoping to learn how to do a character design, how did you learn to do them? I assume that was at school or before or what?
I did a bit before. I remember being inspired a lot by watching behind the scenes footage of, like my favorite animated shows and movies. And you would see, the artists working on these character sheets or working through the design process, like figuring out what a character is going to look like, or, like the shape of their body, the shape of their face. If I don't go this in depth for Power Squared character designs because like the shape language just isn't like, it's not like a Pixar movie. No, it's not like characters are all different shapes,
Right.
like that. But if I were to go really in depth, I would make like little color, what do you call them? I would make little vignettes of like the character shapes, and I would just go through that process. I wish I could bring up images to show what I'm talking about, but I can go really in depth, especially if it's a paid project. But
Well, we're paying you for these.
what was it?
Don't
I
skip.
was definitely in like it's true. I guess what I'm trying to say is when you think of a Pixar character, it's very exaggerated. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But for a Power Squared character design, it's not so exaggerated. So I'm not going to go crazy with the shapes,
But I mean, you
But,
you started drawing on your own, apparently, right? And you were taking I'm going to guess characters that you saw and recreating them, or you just always made them from scratch?
Yeah. So, like everyone starts out drawing other people's characters, because they like them.
Yeah.
So that's what I did starting out. I would draw my favorite characters from my favorite TV shows or movies or what have you. And then as I grew up and I figured out like I like to do this for a living, I figure out exactly how it works to create a character. I might look at the process of other designers and artists, especially, looking through, the art of XYZ book and seeing they might show you the sketches that they do to work through this character design and just thinking about, how they work through that and how I can apply that to my own work. And yeah, then eventually you get to art school and they teach you like how to really do that as a professional. And yeah.
So what did they sum up your education in 2 or 3 words? No, what did they teach you to? I mean, I assume they taught you how many heads a character is tall and that kind of stuff. I mean,
oh yeah. I remember we specifically started learning that kind of stuff in a class called Drawing for Sequential Art, which it might sound very broad, but it was more about, like how to draw a person, how to draw an object, how to use perspective to draw these things. And that class when I took that class, it was taught by this big Marvel guy. Not big, Tom Lyle. He was known as the Marvel guy in school. He had a very specific way of drawing, like he used to work on Spider-Man. So, like a character was exactly, like 8 or 10 or whatever heads tall it was.
right.
So, the kind of rules that I don't really think about anymore, even though they're like, yeah, or like, they were central to my development. But once you learn the rules, you're allowed to break them if you want to or need to,
I always think that was an interesting distinction, that if you don't know the rules, you have to learn them, but because you're breaking them. But once you learn them, it's okay. You can break them. Yeah, no,
it's true.
That's true with anything, music, writing, anything.
Yeah,
you have to know the rules.
But it's still very central.
Yeah, like
sorry, it's still very central to my like development as an artist.
I was gonna say, it reminded me in Hirohiko Araki's book, Manga in Theory and Practice, he talked about how it's good for like a face to learn the proper proportions first, so then even when you're exaggerating some of them, like bigger eyes, for instance, it still looks like a face. Like it still looks like you know how.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Because when you learn the proportions of a head or a face and then you go to exaggerate them, you at least like look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know the proportions of a head and you go to draw a head, then it's going to look far more amateurish. So even if it's a pain in the ass to learn that stuff, you got to do it. But yeah, eventually there's a character design class that you take where you really learn how to, apply the things you learned in drawing for sequential art when it comes to drawing, a person or an animal or what have you, and apply it to, making characters.
So actually, on the character design sheet that you're doing for us, you have the character, and then you have sort of a, I want to say, sort of showing them turning different poses. Turn around. There you go. And then you do something usually with the eyes or some paraphernalia like glasses that they wear. Is that the standard for what a character design sheet should have, or?
I don't know if there's necessarily a standard way of making a character sheet, whether it's for comics or animation, which might be good or bad depending on who you ask. But I guess when I'm making up these character sheets for Power Squared characters, I'm thinking about, I might make like a glamour shot on the side to show what the character's all about. And then the turnaround is mainly to show, like, mainly the technical parts of the character, like the proportions, like how tall they are, what they look like from the back, the front, the side, little stuff like that. And then I'll show close-ups of specific stuff that you ought to know, but might not be immediately visible in like the glamour shot or the turnarounds, like the eyes, for example. Like it might be hard, for example, for the colorist to get the eye color from, the glamour shot. So like I figure if I show that close up of the eye, then it's easier to get the colors. It's easier to, in addition, for like any other artist to, like, get the shape of the eye or what it looks like exactly. And then I know for Marty and Eli, I showed their glasses by themselves because I figured, that's also important to know how to draw.
Right. Well, and I know that coloring is really important for distinction of the two characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Marty's blue and Eli's red. So.
And I know for certain other character designs, especially I'm thinking of Quincy's character design from issue 10 to issues 10 onward. She got very in-depth character designs because there are a lot of details to her character. Like, I believe she got like a head turnaround to show like how her bun works, how her face works. I believe there's also a shot with her hair down because sometimes her hair is down. And I showed some of her jewelry. I gave her like amethyst jewelry because I know that amethysts stand for like, people use amethysts to like clear your mind, to give you like a clear mind. So I figured that would help reflect her character design a little bit because she's supposed to like convince you. Like psychological stuff. So I know I use part of her character sheets to like show what kind of jewelry she likes to wear. So
right. So every character, I mean, I was just asking mostly in case somebody wants to know how to to do one.
Oh yeah, I feel like if you want to make a character sheet of your own, like, I mean, again, it's not really standardized in terms of procedure or what you should show. Like, I figure the most important parts of the character, like if you were handing off this project to someone else, for example, like what would you want to make sure they know or that they can do, Now
you came in without that. Was that helpful, or was that, hey, where are these, or, how did that, what I mean? You started drawing without a character sheet.
It was definitely challenging, especially because, you kind of have to flip through the other comics to look at these characters and make sure you're getting them right. But at the same time, it does kind of afford a little bit of freedom to draw the characters in the way that I feel like fits like this world and my style the best. So I suppose there are ups and downs,
I mean, we like what you're doing with them. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hey, I'm glad.
you did okay. Well, you were capturing more, I think, the sort of anime Western blend that we were going for that we didn't get the first go around, the first 5 issues.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a better fit artistically.
Yeah.
For our vision. Talking.
I'm glad.
All right. Any advice you want to give to a new artist trying to do a character design?
Any advice to artists? Learn how to draw women. Similarly, learn how to draw animals. I don't feel like, even in art school, they don't really teach you enough how to do that kind of stuff, but I promise you'll thank me later.
Now, do you have I assume you've drawn characters outside of Power Squared. Do you have a favorite character that you've created outside the Power Squared universe?
Let me think. In terms of something I can show off.
If you have an NDA, we don't want you to violate it. But.
Let me think. Right now, I can't really show it, but I can talk about it. Right now, I'm working on a comic about kaiju, like giant monsters that are shrunk down. It's a very like cartoony style, like almost like not quite retro Cartoon Network, but it's kind of along those lines. And like there's a sort of Godzilla sort of character, and there was a Rodan sort of character, but she was scrapped in the end, which was very sad because she was my favorite. But I might just show her off because she's very fun. Because she's not being used right now. So
can you tell us what the project is, or is that not supposed to know?
I might be able to say the title, and the title is "Not All Giant Monsters Are Big." It's with a what do you call it? An individual client like you guys. They're just they want to make their comic come alive. Let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna share this with you guys. Oh, she's so cute. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. I like it.
I might use her for my own purposes later because again, she's not being used in the comic. But it's kind of along the lines like this, especially because I will stop sharing now.
Right.
Just because I love dinosaurs. They're my favorite. I just love drawing them. I love looking at them. So yeah.
So you work with other projects. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's like finding the
You never take me back.
For dating other people. It's okay. I'm kidding. No, it's good. I mean, I hope you are doing well with that.
Yeah, thanks.
So is that kind of?
I guess that's about it. Now that we've found out you're cheating on us, it's okay. We should go. No, we're kidding, of course. No. Again, we will. We'll be happy to publicize whatever work you're doing outside of Power Squared, if we're allowed to. So,
Thank you.
So,
I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
I'll keep you up to date.
Yeah, we'll hope your other creators are treating you good. All right, so you want to...
Yeah, okay. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and ring that notification bell if you want to see exactly when these videos go up.
So until next week, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been On the Air with Power Squared.